everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be using the Lawn Fawn heart pouch dies to create a little treat bag to give to my two little daughters for Valentine's Day. Actually, I might make a third one too for my husband. And I think this is the one I'm actually going to give him, the one with the X and the O's. So the first thing you're going to need to do is cut out this heart pouch die twice. And so I've picked out two of the same pattern paper for that, and I've cut them out. I'm just going to put them to the side for now. And then I'm going to do some stamping and stamp a couple of the hedgehogs. So I got the big hedgehog, which is going to be me, and then I'm going to do the little one, which is going to be my daughter. And I'm going to do two of them because I have two daughters. So now I'm just stamping out some hearts. We're going to add this onto the heart pouch, like for accents. And I'm just going to get to coloring them. So I'm starting with E53. I wanted to keep the color of the hedgehog quite light so that it contrasts really well with that purple designer series paper. Next, I'm taking E51 and then just blending out that color. And then the last color I'm going to use is E50. I actually recently had to replace this marker because my first one just dried right out. And then I'm going to repeat those same colors for the baby hedgehog. So I'm just coloring the outside and then using my mid-tone to blend that out, and then my lightest tone for the lightest part of the hedgehog. For the hedgehog hair, I've decided to use purple to match the designer series paper. And so I decided to start with V09 as my darkest color. I'm then going to take V06 and blend out that darker color. With purples, you do have to kind of blend them out a little bit more so that they contrast well with the lighter color. And for the lightest color there, I used V04. For the ears and the nose, I used V01. And for my heart, because they were going on that purple paper, I wanted them to look quite white. And so I just did the outline in V01, and then I brought in the colorless blender and I blended out that V01 to make it blend but also still look white. So now I'm just going to get the coordinating dies for this, and I'm going to cut them out using my die cutting machine. So after I cut those out, I laid them onto the heart just to decide where I wanted them. And then I realized I forgot to do something in the porcupine's hand. And so for that, I am just using V01 for the heart and then the colorless blender for the white part. And for that acorn, I used two colors and then the colorless blender. So the V04 and then the V01 and then the colorless blender. So now I'm just going to get to folding these boxes, and you're just going to take wherever there's a score line, you're just going to fold inwards. And so I'm doing that on all of the score lines. I did cut off one end of the that little snip towards the bottom. I cut that out on one of them, and now I'm just folding everything in. So the next thing we're going to do, yeah, there we go. See, I'm just cutting that part off. You only have to do that on one, and it doesn't matter if it's the front or the back. So now I'm just going to take some double-sided tape and adhere them to the flaps on those hearts. And I've kind of just, I didn't measure it or anything. I just kind of looked at it and cut some out. For this next one here, I went a little bit too big, and so I'm just going to use my scissors to snip that off. And then one more for that very long piece right over there. I'm just going to stick that on. And now to form the box, it's actually pretty easy. So the piece we cut out on the first one there, that's the one that I like to start with. And I'm just going to remove that double-sided tape, and that's the side that I'm going to attach first to the other end of the box. And to do them one at a time is probably my advice to you, because if you try to do them all together, that double-sided tape is really sticky and it's going to adhere fully, and then you might have to rip the paper, which you don't want to do. So we're going to start with the very bottom, kind of put those together, and then put the rest of the heart into place. Sorry, it kind of went off of camera there, but I'm doing one side at a time and then just pushing them down with my fingers to adhere it. The final step is to tie some twine in between those holes, but I'm going to decorate my box first. So for this, I just had a piece of horizontal paper, and I glued it, or I lined it up with my box and then just cut off the ends. This is going to be what the porcupines are standing on. I felt like it needed something to stand on, because if it was just in the middle of the heart, it looked like they were standing in a galaxy or something. So I put that there as like the floor that they're going to be standing on, and I'm just adhering it on. Next, I'm going to put my hedgehog on, and I have him on dimensionals. I'm just going to push that down properly. For the baby hedgehog, I'm not going to put dimensionals. I'm just going to do it with liquid glue, because I want it to have a little bit of dimension with the mom, and I wanted him to look like, or she's tucked right in there. And then I'm going to take that little acorn and just put it next to the baby hedgehog, like a snack. All kids need snacks. And then I'm going to take those hearts and kind of glue those on. For those as well, I'm just using liquid glue. I didn't get fancy or anything and use dimensionals. I did 3 so that it would be a pattern. Well, not really a pattern, but I feel like the hearts look good in 3s. And so 1 on one side and 2 on the other. And now the last thing, I'm just filling it up with some chocolate, and I'm going to use some silver twine to kind of put this together. The easiest way is to line up the holes on one side and then poke the twine through, and then do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm putting that twine in from the back of the package so that I can tie the bow in the front. So I'm just going to poke that through and then tie a bow to bring it all together. I almost thought I was going to lose this bow, because after I tied it, I tried to make it smaller. So I'm just cutting off the tails, and then I wanted that to look a little bit smaller, but that twine is so hard, it just all came apart. But I managed to fix it, and it ended up looking great. So these are my treat boxes for you today. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I will link all of the product below, so if you want to purchase something, you can. I hope you enjoy and have a great rest of your day. Bye.